Hi, I hope everybody had a safe holiday. Want to get back into the drawing of the drawings I need to do to produce the G code to make this part. And once again, I had to switch computers and operating systems and everything. I love Windows 64-bit. You know, nothing runs in it. So I got another computer now with Windows 7 in it with 32-bit, and all my software hopefully are working good now. I couldn't get D2 and C to work correctly in 64-bit uh, Windows 7. So, at any rate, that's my problem. What we need to do now is actually determine how we're going to machine the part so we can produce the right drawings to machine the part. And there's a few things to keep in mind when we're doing it. One is the tool actually has to travel farther than the distance of the part to cut these things out. Otherwise, you leave radiuses in the corners. So you can't use the actual drawing of the part to do that. Uh, and the first thing I would want to do is to actually drill the bolt hole pattern. And the way I've decided to do this is um, the first G code I'll do is to find 0, drill the 4 holes so I can make a fixture plate to actually hold this, because I have to keep switching directions and machine it from this way, machine it from this way, machine it from the top, and machine it from the bottom. Uh, so the first G code drawing that I'll do, the drawing for G code that I'll do, is to actually drill the holes. Then once I have that, I'm going to tap these holes to start with so that I can bring the bolts in from the back side. I have about a 1/4 inch of thickness here that if this was bolted down from the back, it won't interfere with any of the top machining, and it won't interfere with machining it from this side or this side. Then with the same bolt holes and fixture, um, I'll make 4 standoffs, turn the part around, and then bolt it to the fixture from this direction, and flip it up and machine the back side. So the first G code thing I would do is the bolt pattern. The second one, the drawing that I would need to do is to, let me see if I can get this back in view here, is to actually come in and take this entire section out this way, all of the same height through here, and I have to go beyond the actual end of the part, so 0 will have to be, sitting outside the picture, the actual part drawing. Otherwise the cutter won't go beyond 0. Next one is the pass. In that same drawing, the pass will come through here at this depth. So it will take the bulk of the material out of the part in the center going this way and the center going this way. Then the next drawing I would do is to produce a G code to take out this pocket, and these 2 holes. Okay, at that point, I've got the all the geometry for the top surface actually done. These are square, of course, at that point, but they'll round off when we actually stand it up to machine it. So we've taken out the center part, we've taken out the cross part, we've taken out the 2 holes and the 2 pockets. Then, while it's on the fixture plate still, I would stand it up this way. Then I need to use this drawing, and let me tip it up here. The first drawing, there'll be actually 2 drawings in this one. The first one will take this out to this depth, okay, but this round area actually extends in, as you can see, down in here. So it'll take 2 different drawings to do that. because the first drawing is actually a full complete round circle. The next drawing will follow this contour and come in and go square across the bottom. If hopefully this is making sense. Then the next drawing I'll need to do is flipping it over. This one's, once again, it's two different drawings. This one will have to come into a depth of right here. That's probably hard to see. Oh, there. Depth of right here to go completely around this. Okay, and then the next drawing will have to come into a depth of here, which means it will have to come around this radius, all the way out, back over, and then across the entire bottom this way, below this level. Because this level, if you look, if I can get this right in the cam, this level extends further than the end of this round section. So there'll be two drawings for this side that have to be set for different depths and different shapes. Once those three sides are done, now we actually have the rounded surfaces. We have the in this top drawing, I will drill these two holes. I will not try to size them or anything at that point in time. I just actually want to find their location in the drawing, and I'll probably just center drill them. This motor is still put together, so I don't know the exact size of this pin, and that would be something I'd have to do after disassembling the engine, miking the actual pin that goes in there. The original motor used two little tiny C-clips in here to hold this pin, and if you notice, the hole is actually smaller on this end, so it just has a flat bottom in it. I did it differently. It was just easier, instead of trying to cut this inside snap ring groove, to drill from the top and put roll pins in it. It just something it's just something to keep this from moving back and forth. So it's easier to just put a roll pin here and a roll pin here and ream straight through. Then as far as the bottom, once that's completely done, this will go back on the fixture plate. I'll make 4 standoffs, or I can just make an X-shaped block with 4 holes through it that's perfectly level. Bolted to the fixture plate from the bottom. It has to bolt from the bottom because I need to machine the surface, so I can't have the bolts here. And then all of the rest of these shapes will be milled into the bottom, and then it's completed. So let's start with the first set of drawings. And one of the things I'll show you in the drawing is that I need to move my 0, 0 point in all of these. And the reason I want to move it in all of them is, if you watch the previous videos, and the actual, to pick, to do the G-code for the drill locations where it actually steps and goes to the next point, the next point, the next point, you have to have your first circle with its center where this square would be. And if you don't, the software, you're telling the software to only look at circles when it's going to go do the drilling. And what it would end up doing is it would probably pick this circle right here as its starting point, and it'll either pick the lowest or the farthest to the left. But one of these two circles it's going to pick as a starting point, and that's not 0, 0. So that drawing will have to have a circle right here. I put these in since the last video. I realized I was changing things, and I wanted to mention that these are the actual 0, 0 points on this drawing. This one here is actually in the wrong position, because you always want 0 from the original starting point. So let's say we're going to start on the top, It's going to be facing this direction. So that first cutout that's going to go this way and this way, its 0 point is going to be here. I'm sorry, mouse is jumpy. 0 point is going to be here. The hole pattern for drilling these holes, for tapping them for the fixture plate, its 0 point is going to be here. But when I flip this over, this one, actually its 0 point needs to start from here and everything work from this side back, so that we're always starting from the same 0. This view here actually is correct. Its 0 point will start here, the same as this one. But this one, when we flip it over, our original 0 point for X and Y is over here. So I'll need to move these two so that I'm always starting from the same 0 point. So I'll go ahead and do that first. Let's see, we'll just select the area here and then zoom to the area. Zoom to selection. Alright, click off of it. And I'm going to draw a line from here, holding down the control key. So I got a new keyboard too, so I got to find out where the keys are. I'm going to hold down the control key so the line stays straight and just pass through here and drop it. Of course, this thing. Same thing, I'm going to pick this one up at the top here. Start there. Holding the control key. And just drawing those two lines. Pick this little square here. Bring it a little closer into view. Drop it in this section. Then I'm going to zoom to the actual little square there. Well, I want to select an area and then zoom to that. So we're going to say view, zoom to selection. I want to grab this. Grab this little square and bring him over here and snap him in, and then select these two lines and delete them. So we move that. Same thing over here. Sorry. I'm using dual screen now to try to get some of the clutter off and make the view bigger. I got to hold the control key. Snap to location. Draw the cross line. Grab this box. And then delete these two lines off. So our 0 points, even when we flip it, are always going to be from where we started from. And that'll help keep things accurate and lined up. If you started from the other end, then discrepancies in the machine, your lead screws, your can show up in the part. So you always want to start from the same 0. So we're going to do the first drawing, and to do that, I'm just going to copy this one here. Right click and say copy. I'm going to right click on the screen, say paste. I'm going to undo that because I forgot something. Edit, undo. Okay, I'm going to select this again, and I'm going to group it. Line, group. That way when I try to drag it off, it don't come off as pieces. It comes off as a whole thing. Then I'm going to right click it and say copy. Then I'm going to right click again and just say paste. It's going to drop it on top of it because this is set to 5 thousandths here. Then I could just take this and move it to the side here. I've got a box that keeps popping up here. I need to move over. It's on the other screen. That's fine. I'm going to move this just over the side here. It don't really have to line up with anything. I'm going to shut this warning off. Everybody's already seen the warnings. Now, this drawing, now I want to select it again, ungroup it. Click off of it, and I need to draw a small circle. So just a reference point for the drilling. And I want to drop this circle so that the center of it is at this 0 point on this XY coordinate here. So if I can get in there. I'm just going to click on the box and zoom to it so I'm sure that I'm actually dead center on that, or all my bolt holes will be off. Zoom to selection. Zoom out a little bit. Grab this circle and move it up to there, zeroing it on that point. Then I want to select the square and delete it out. Find the right key here. Okay, now we want to select everything here, and then holding down the control key, pick the items we want to keep. I want to keep the 4 drill points and this alignment circle, and everything else I want to delete. So there's our drill bolt hole pattern. We'll go ahead and group these, grab them all, say line and group. Okay, there's our first pattern for this top view. Now we want to once again just right click on the screens. It's going to drop it right here. I could say 3 inches away or 2 inches away here, and it'll drop it somewhere else. But say right click and paste, and we need another view of it. It still dropped it there. Sometimes this stuff's a little quirky. I actually want to bring it over here further. Try to keep the views of what piece I'm working for aligned. So we'll drop it there. With this one, I need to draw this a little different, and when I set this one down, I need this cutter to go farther than the 0, 0 point so that it does not leave round radiuses. Now, looking at it, I don't believe it's going to. I may not have to do that. The 0 point is going to cross here, so the radius from the cutter would be where my arrow is. The radius from the cutter here would be where my arrow is. This one will be where the arrow is, and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group the lower drawing without the square. So I'll select this. I'm going to click ungroup. I want to select it all again. I'm thinking my way through this. And holding down the control key, I want to click on what I want to keep as reference points. So, and get rid of all the rest of the clutter. We're just going to make a T actually here for a tool path. So I'm going to hold down the control key and just, let me zoom to the area. View, zoom to the selection. Okay. Holding down the control key, I'm just going to start, first thing I have to do is, everything's ungrouped. I'm going to say line intersect, so I can take out individual pieces. Okay. Now I want to take out, I'm going to have a path through here, come down, back through here, up, and then I got a path through here. I'm sorry, it's going to come here, move over, through here, back, down through to here, back, back up. The same over here. That'll take out all but just this little radius right here above these two holes we're going to do. So that means that these two holes will actually have to stop from the top surface instead of starting from this surface. They'll have to start from this height. It'll make sense when I actually start making the G code. So to select these lines, what I want to do is I'm going to draw a line from here to here and bring it down here and snap it to the center. That's not going to work. I don't want to just drop it. So we'll go back to plan A. I'm going to delete this out. I'll extend the lines later. I'm going to draw a box around the whole part, I believe. So this is, okay, draw from here to here. Draw a line from the very top to the center of this. Does that look right? Okay, I need that distance. I need a line from the total width. I'm just using this to measure. I could have used the measuring tool. I should get used to using that, and it would have stayed on screen. So I just want to draw a box around the whole thing, starting in this square. And then put in these dimensions. My X is 3.730, so on my box I'll make the X 3.370. And then, that's wrong. Click on this line again. That line is 3.730. What did I make this one? 3.730. A little better. Okay, this one here is 2.490. 2.490. Put it in the wrong spot. $2.490. Alright, so we have a box that shows the outside dimensions, and we can start deleting some things off. I'm going to start drawing the T by, let's go ahead and just start deleting things out of here. These are already intersected. I don't need this line. I don't need this line. Have to make sure you come back when you get your drawing done and group it and look to see if you got any extra little lines sitting around. I want to keep the tip of this radius right here because the center of it is going to be, yeah, I want to leave that one. Delete this. Let's just do it the right way. Select the actual line, get that little tiny one. I no longer need this circle. Oh, took out a line I needed. Messing up. Alright, I needed that line. Like this. This. So make sense in a minute. I just need to get all these extra lines out of here because we're not using the drawing for anything except for a toolpath. Alright, let's see. Now what I need to do is I want to carry this line through here to the top. Hold down my control key so it's straight. Otherwise, see how it snaps 15 degrees each time. I want to carry, you can hit your space bar, hold down the control key, come through the top. I didn't want to zoom out, but that's alright. Come here, do the same thing. A little hard to see, but creature of habit, I don't hit the space bar. I forgot to drop it. Come through. I can select this all again and zoom to the view. Now while that's selected, I want to intersect all these lines and delete out of here what I don't need. So I'm not going to need this line, this line. A little fragment there. There's a little dot there. Got him. That's the wrong selection. Can't leave any little dots in your closed shape. You need a closed shape. All right. We're going to select that shape. That's the actual tool path that we're going to use to cut that whole inside section out. We're going to select that shape, holding the control key, select the block out of here. We'll just, oop, I'm going to do an edit undo in case I move something. Alright, go back and start deleting these out. Had to do that because I think I moved the little square down there and that would have thrown me off. Okay, now I'm going to select all these again. Holding the control key down, I want to select this box without moving it. I'll select the box first. Group it. Then I want to select the whole thing and group it. So it'll quit falling apart if I got to move it. Alright, let's take this into D2&C and we can see if we have any errors or anything in it. And this actually would be step 2 because step 1 is going to be the drilling one. But I'm going to pause here for just a second and then I'll come back. Trying to find my doing something wrong. I'm not sure if this paused. Give me just a minute. Just Alright, I'm back. Hopefully this thing's recording again. So we're going to go ahead and save the file. And I'm going to go ahead and export the file. Now, I've said this before, and I want to mention it again because I was playing with this. You have to make sure all these checkboxes are shut off, or it's going to put a whole bunch of stuff in your drawing when you open it up in D2&C that you don't need, and you'll have to delete off. It's all the other views. We only need this face-down view that we're showing here. So we'll export it. Overwrite the existing file, and then we're going to go ahead and go into D2&C, but I'm going to go to D2&C through Mach 3 so that I can actually view the G-code in Mach 3 to see what it looks like after I draw it. So go into D2&C here. We're going to do step 1 first, which is a drill pattern. We'll say File, Open. There's our drawing. And it's going to have all of our views in it. That's not our drawing. Let's restart here. Import DXF. Where are we looking here? CNC training vids. I got to back up since this is a different computer. I got to see where I saved it to. File, export. It's putting it in CNC training vids on what drive? Oh, it's putting it on the USB stick. Okay. So just going to cancel this. I've got wrong directory here. So we'll go back to D2&C and we have to tell it where it's at. Oh. Go down here to the USB stick. Go to CNC training vids. And we'll try this one. Much better. Okay, so that's not got all of our views in it. Having technical difficulties. I'm going to go back to eMachine Shop. File. Export. Let's select where we're putting this. I'm going to go desktop. CNC training vids. D2 and C again. We'll restart. Import. I'm going to pick it off my desktop. And I finally got the right drawing. Okay, step one is going to be to drill the holes. So what I want to do is, in this first screen here, for the hole one, normally you would just click next. For this one here, this would cause a problem because I won't be able to, I just want to pick circles and points. Okay, because it's a drill pattern we're going to pull out of this drawing. So I'm going to pick circles and points, and it picked them all, as if you'll notice. Let me restart it again so you can see it. Okay, in the first drawing there are no circles. So actually it didn't bring it into the view at all. The starting point is this 0, and then it brought in all the circles in these drawings. We can go ahead and do that, and then we're going to modify it to take all the rest of these circles out. We're just interested in these 5 right here. So you would click circles and points, next, and go modify. And like I said, we want the first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These here are in other views, and we're going to remove them. Okay, then we're going to tell its origin is bottom left. So this is starting at the circle that we're going to do nothing with. This is 0, 0. These are our 4 bolt holes. 4 bolt holes that we're going to drill. So we've aligned it to bottom left. Now we need to click on path. We need, instead of going to contour, where there's nothing to contour here, we're going to tell it to go to the position and then pause and sit there. And then I can actually have the CNC move to each location and just drill the hole with the milling machine. Just unlock the spindle and pull a handle and drill each hole, or tap it, whatever I want to do at that point. So we've already got our drawing here. Just generate the G code and it'll take us into Mach 3. And then I'll go to toolpath so you can see it. Zoom in. And here's 0 point. And if you click on the screen to check your G code, you can watch line for line what the machine's going to do. So we'll start out here. And as I'm going down, these are just the notes in tool change. Right now it's starting at 0, 0. And it will take us, okay. It wasn't zeroed. See up here? So we're going to rewind it. We're going to run from here. I need to zero the machine before I start. Go back to screen. Zero the machine. So it's actually going to start at 0. This will be a little better. Okay, so now we're actually at our 0, 0 point. I click on the screen and I can go through my code one line at a time. Everything that's in parentheses is not a code. So there's the first one. And if you look down in the corner carefully, you can see it flash. There's our first location. We'll drill and tap. Goes to the next location, drill and tap. Next location, drill and tap. Next location, drill and tap. And then back to 0. And that's the end of the first one. Now, D2 and C sends it to Mach 3 named D2 and C.tap. If you don't want to lose that actual file, we just created the first G code, you have to actually edit it and rename it. So we have the G code already for step 1. So we're going to edit the G code. I have to pull this over into the screen so you can see it. There's no reason to change it. We can put all these together after we make them all, but first thing we want to do is save it as. I want to make sure it's saving it to my desktop, which it's not. Let's put it in the desktop in the right folder this time. Then we see it's already named D2 and C tap. Well, the next file we make is going to come over named D2 and C tap 2. So we want to name it step 1. Be fine. Drill. And I would actually, most of the time, I don't know what size drill bit this is going to be. I got to go back and look and see what size the hole is and tap it and use screws that are going to be smaller than my final hole dimension. But I would put a drill size there. I'm just going to put 0.2 as an example so that it makes it a little easier to understand, and say save. Now if I come out of here and I unload close the G code, now to get back to that actual G code, I can click load G code, tell it where it's at, which it's, go to desktop. It'll remember it once you did this once. None of the software has been run on this computer. CNC training vids. And here's our file. So we have our first G code made. So now let's go back to our drawing. We're going to cut out this section. I need to see what the width is right here, and that'll determine what size cutter I'm going to use. That is 0.7. I'll cut this out. Let's see, I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to delete that line back off. I like to do it, not do it as a pocket, actually do it with a big tool if I could. I want to look at the dimension the other way. By just making one pass there and one pass back and one pass here and one pass back, it would be quicker than pocketing it. Let's not worry about that right now. Okay, let's just go back to Mach 3, D2 and C. I never picked to use the same drawing. I always like to start from scratch because I'm going to import it back in here. Select the same drawing. Now, from this point on, we just click next on the first drawing. Don't worry about anything except for modifying it first. The only drawing we need is this one here. So we're just going to hold down our left mouse button, select everything else on the screen, and delete it. It does not delete it from your drawing, it just deletes it from the view here. Remove selection. Then we're going to set its point of origin to bottom left. We're going to do an offset. And it's asking for a tool diameter. Let's just do a pocket and do it as 0.5. Keep things from getting confusing. You can play with the software and learn how to use it differently in the future. This is not highlighted yellow, so I think I have a problem here. We'll try it. Yeah, see, this is a series of lines. See all these lines running around through here? We have lines on lines here. So this is an error that'll come up with your drawing. And when you see this, if your closed-in area is not actually yellow and you see all these red paths, that means you definitely got a problem. with your drawing. So what we want to do at this point is just close this out. This was an example I wanted to show you so you understand what's happening when you see crazy stuff on the screen. And if we zoom into this area, because I kept drawing over the top of things, there's lines underneath it, and these lines are not actually intersected. So let's zoom to the selection, and it's a little hard to see, but there's a line on a line in here and here. So the way to do this is take the line, intersect it, ungroup it first, line, ungroup. See that little dot? There's a problem. Okay, that needs to be deleted out of there. You can't even see these sometimes, and you can get this in any CAD software. Okay, now holding down the control key, I want to put the lines together that I want to group. So just keep selecting them in order. We're going to group them, move them out of the way, delete everything that's underneath them, and put them back. That way we don't pick up any extra lines, dots, little pieces. I'm going to do it with the cut and paste. Okay. Let's say line group. We're not going to cut and paste it. We'll just drag it out of there. Now, see what we got underneath here? That's why the thing was going crazy. So we need to actually select those lines without moving that square. Delete them out of there. And relocate our part in here. Now to do this, I'm going to have to zoom in on the area. Zoom to selection. Okay, we need to reline this up. So I'm just going to draw a box starting at this point. Make sure it's bigger than our part. Grab our part that we grouped, and it should snap right into location. It's not. It's actually up higher here. It's because I didn't tell it the height of this box. Okay, this box that's highlighted right now is 2.490. Select the other box. Make it 2.490 tall. Okay, now I can grab this and it'll snap right into location. Delete the outer box. Save this. Export this. These are things, if you watch the training videos from the company that actually makes the software, the guy that's doing that isn't going to make a mistake. So you don't learn what to do when there's a mistake. So actually having somebody that screws up isn't such a bad way to learn something. So let's go back into Mach 3, go back into D2 and C, and I'll show you what difference it's made. Don't select the same drawing. You can if you want, but I always just start clean. I don't know why, creature of habit. Reopen it. Going to click next and delete off everything we're not working with. You have to click on modify to do that. Select everything we're not working with. Make sure you scroll around and really select everything on the screen. Remove it. Now if you notice, we have two lines. One's going to a closed shape here, which is our entire path. The other's coming back to a closed shape here, and we don't have all the rest of those red lines, so we have no errors in our drawing. Now, while that's selected, we want to tell it its origins, bottom left. That's where our square is. Now that we've moved it there, we can tell it the offset and the tool size, which is going to be 0.5. We're going to use a 1/2 inch. We're going to pocket the inside. Now notice that this is yellow. That means there's no errors. Those are all connected lines. That's one steady group. So we select that. We're going to offset it. That changes for the offset of the tool. We can go to path, contour, local shape, none. Select the path we're working with. We're going to move that in to say what we're going to do with it. And right now we need to know the depth of this cut. So I'm going to switch back to camera mode, if I can find a camera. So the depth of this cut below this surface right here, we're going from here to here. Alright, the way we'll find that is in the drawing. Go back to eMachine Shop. Hit equals to find our normal view. The depth of this cut can be found by measuring from the top here to right here. And that is 0.504. So going back to D2 and C, full depth below 0, 0 is the top of the part, is 0.504. I'm going to take 20 thousandths per step. And D2 and C is really good about if you go into constraint and you set the actual material you're working with, it'll give you a very conservative feed and speed. I'm just going to accept all these as what it is. I only took a 20,000th step on a 1/2 inch cutter because myself, on the speed, I would crank this up to 2200 right now and run my feed at about 15. But for that's my machine, that's what Cooling On, that's the way I would do it. D2 and C will give you the conservative feeds and speeds. I'll ramp this so I get a better finish. If you click on ramp, it'll calculate it, and it'll give you a number below the total distance of a single pass around this object. The total length around the object's 9.8 inches. I got a 1/2 inch cutter. It'll just spiral its way down through it. Actually, I'm going to change this step so it shows up in the actual graphics. I'm going to change that to 0.50, and it just for graphic representation. I'm going to go ahead and add and close. So now we have step 2 of our G code. And I can go ahead and generate that. Go back to Mach 3 and we can take a look at that. Here's the tool path. You have to always regenerate when you go to tool path. That's Mach 3 saving. So there's our first tool path. That's going to take out all that material in the center. Now I want to go back back to our drawing. Well, see, this is where I mess up. I don't want to go back to the drawing yet. I want to edit the G code. File, save as, Go down here. Make sure you leave the .tap on there, or it'll make a text file out of it, and it'll say .text. And if you come back here, see, it's trying to put it in Mach 3 G code. Hang on just a second. I want it on my desktop. It didn't remember that. Okay. And it's D2 and C tap. We're going to change this to step 2. Space, 2, space. And then I put the cutter size. And that was a 1/2 inch cutter. Save. And then we can go ahead and close this. Now if we go to load, we'll find step 2 with a 1/2 inch cutter. And we can hit cancel here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short because of having sync problems and everything else. I'm going to check it over. If the sync and everything's okay, then I'm going to come back and continue with the next step of machining out the top of the part. Once we get all the steps for machining out the part, each step, then I'm going to come in and show you how to take each one of these files, cut, paste, copy, and edit them together so that it's one smooth process, just asking for tool changes. But right now I'm going to stop, and then we'll go from there.